Hey guys, come on downstairs. We're playing a little Microsoft Flight Simulator today. It's career mode Las Vegas. We're in job number 8. High stakes poker. This one we will be heading from North Las Vegas, Nevada to Avalon, California. It's our most ambitious, longest job yet. Let's recap our last job, job number 7. We took a polygamist to Colorado City to check on some of his properties there. Made $6,100, almost $200 of fuel we paid. No other issues. We end that episode with just over $88,000. And a quick look at our fleet to this point. Yep, we just have one plane. It's our 1980 Cessna 152, valued at $45,000. And we'll have it for a little while. So we're going to get nice and accustomed to this plane. We should get really good at it. So job number 8, high stakes poker. A last minute replacement was called in to participate in a televised poker game from Catalina Island off the coast of California. It's early morning here in Las Vegas, in North Las Vegas, as we try to get this guy over to Catalina to take part in his poker tournament. So this is easily the longest flight we've done so far. It's not the longest of the Las Vegas area that I did. That longest one is coming up in a few episodes. So we get this plane from cold and dark, ready to go, fire it up. Okay. So this job with full fuel tanks, we would probably be able to make it all the way to Catalina Island, but it would be tight. Okay, so because Catalina Island is off the coast of California and I don't want to come up short and be out over the water, I'm going to be conservative, and we're going to land in Barstow and refuel. So we have plenty of fuel on board to get to Barstow. It's not a full tank, but we'll get to Barstow, we'll land, and we will refuel there, and then go the rest of the way to Avalon and Catalina Island Airport. Still messing with the mixture here, try to figure out where to have it while we're on the ground. We are below 3,000 feet, but because we are on the ground and not moving, there's still not a lot of oxygen in the system, so we've got to adjust the mixture a little bit.
North Las Vegas Airport information, Oscar 1400 Zulu. Wind 289er at 5. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 8. Dew point 10. Altimeter 30.09er. ILS runway 12 left and visual runway 12 right in use. Landing and departing runway 30 right and runway 30 left. DFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. You have Oscar.
North Las Vegas ground, Cessna Bravo Golf Tree, ready to taxi departure to the west with Papa.
Cessna Bravo Golf Tree taxi to and hold short of runway 30 left via taxiway Hotel Bravo Kilo. Contact tower on 119.15 when ready.
Taxi to and hold short runway 30 left via taxiway Hotel Bravo Kilo Cessna Bravo Golf Tree.
It's another beautiful day, it looks like, to fly from the Las Vegas area. Nice early morning flight. We'll get up in the air, see Vegas with the lights on, and we'll be taking off runway 30 left once again. That's the runway that we've taken off the most from so far in this series. from our home base airport here in North Las Vegas. We'll kind of skip ahead in our taxi. As we turn down towards the city lights of Las Vegas. By job number 8 here, starting to get much more comfortable in this little airplane. The very first job of this series was literally the first time I ever tried to fly the Cessna 152. So I didn't do any practice flights. I literally just threw myself into the fire with it. And again, I'm not a real life pilot, so there has been a little bit of a learning curve with the Cessna 152, but starting to get it down a little bit, I think. I'm sure I'm still obviously not perfect, nor do I plan to be or ever think I will be. But we do the best we can, and it's been fun so far. Okay, we're at runway 30 left.
North Las Vegas Tower Cessna Bravo Golf Tree ready for departure to the west at runway 30 left.
Cessna Bravo Golf Tree altimeter 30.09er, wind 279er at 7. West departure approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 30 left.
Cleared for takeoff runway 30 left Cessna Bravo Golf Tree.
So this time I didn't cut out the magneto check and our run up, but everything's good to go, and we're going to get out here on runway 30 left. And get ready to take off. And there's a truck on the runway. How you doing? Dodge the airport maintenance vehicles again. He gets out of the way quick enough, I guess. Okay. We're going to get up in the air before the dawn breaks.
Bravo Golf Tree, continue for west departure.
North Las Vegas Tower Cessna Bravo Golf Tree, continue for west departure.
Okay, we're going to head west. The only other job so far that we've gone this direction, I believe, was our trip into Death Valley in job number 6. So we're up in the air. We're going to get some shots here of Vegas as we head out of the valley. And my kids are starting to get a little bit wild, so I'm going to leave you here for a while, sit back, enjoy the flight. If I can get them settled down, I'll jump back in here in a little while and do some more commentary. But from here on out, sit back, enjoy the flight. If there's anything I need to bring to your attention in the next little while, I'll jump in and do so. And we'll catch you probably somewhere around Barstow as we prepare to make our fuel stop there.
Las Vegas approach Cessna Bravo Golf Tree 7,800 feet.
Cessna Bravo Golf Tree, Las Vegas, approach altimeter 30.09er. Continue to Golf Oscar Golf as planned.
Alright guys, we are within range, or getting into range now, of Barstow, California. We're going to check the weather.
Kilo Delta Alpha Golf Automated Weather Observation 1500 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 7C dew point 10C. Altimeter 3012.
Alright, let's take a look at Barstow Daggett. It is at an elevation of 1,900 feet. I'm not sure which runway we're going to land on, but it looks like they're plenty big.
Kilo Delta Alpha Golf Traffic Cessna Bravo Golf Tree 9 miles northeast 5,600 feet inbound to land runway 22.
Okay, well that answers our question. We're going to land on runway 22. And we're about 9 miles away. You can actually see it up there, as we are just going to head straight in. Doesn't look like a super busy airport, so we're not going to bother with a traffic pattern or anything like that. Let's fly straight in runway 22, which is what we're headed for right now. Let's move ahead just a little bit. And again, this is not our final destination.
Kilo Delta Alpha Golf Traffic Cessna Bravo Golf Tree is on final runway 22 to land.
This is just our fuel stop. Fuel stop here in Barstow. And then we'll go the rest of the way to Catalina Island, off the coast of Los Angeles. Same rules apply here though. If we land off the runway or if we bounce our aircraft, it's going to cost us some money. And I know this is job number 8, and we've had one bounce, I think, so far in the first 7 jobs. We bounced our landing pretty good at Lake Havasu in job number 3, and that cost us some money. But I think that's pretty much the only mishap we've had to this point, and just because it's been pretty clean so far, don't expect that to hold out forever. Here to tell you, there's some jobs coming up where conditions are a little bit less than ideal than they have been in the jobs so far. We have flown under some pretty nice conditions, and although the Cessna 152 really is not IFR rated, since it's flight simulator, if I get on to do a job and the weather looks like crap, I'm still going to try to do it anyway. And whereas in real life you would totally not do it. Like, you'd be like, these conditions aren't safe, I'm not flying in real life. And my plane isn't rated. My plane isn't allowed to go into the clouds anyway, because the Cessna 152 is not rated to fly into the clouds. But we're going to do it in this series because it's a game, right? And it'll make it fun. So we do have some conditions in the coming episodes that are not as ideal and could cause some chaos. And could potentially cost us some money. Alright, we're coming in for our first landing in this episode. Fuel stop at Barstow Daggett Regional Airport, I believe, or Municipal Airport, I can't remember. We're floating a little bit. Alright, well, super soft, but we did float down the runway a tad. But we touched down nice and softly. We had a 7-knot, mostly headwind on that landing. I think it might have been off to one side or the other just a little bit, but it definitely wasn't a crosswind. I can't remember the exact number. It might have been coming from 270 degrees, and we landed at 220, so it was a little bit off to the side, but nice landing. We'll pull up here, grab some fuel, and get ready to get back in the air and head to the coast. All right, so 8.32 gallons burned in total from Las Vegas to Barstow. And we're going to go ahead and top off our tank back to 6.5 gallons, which is 50%. So it's 6.5 gallons in each tank, so a total of 13 gallons.
Kilo Delta Alpha Golf Traffic Cessna Bravo Golf Tree is taxiing to runway 26.
And we're going to go ahead and taxi and take off runway 26 this time. Get our landing lights on. Taxi past a couple of little planes. Get ready to take off again. We won't show you the whole taxi. There's a plane up ahead of us here. The way it has that service truck by it, looks like maybe it's having some issues or something. I don't know. All right. We're getting out here towards the runway. This was actually a pretty long taxi, and it was a little bit frustrating to be like, man, we got to get back up in the air and get to Catalina. This is taking a lot of time. Looks like we're going to do our magneto check again and our run up again before we take off. So testing the magnetos, what we're looking at is when we turn it to either the right magneto or the left magneto, we're going to see a drop in RPMs, but hopefully not more than 150. Everything looked good. With that, which it always will in Flight Simulator, and you would hope in real life it always would too, but it doesn't always work out that way, I imagine. And our run up, we're going to run the engine up to about 1700 RPMs and just make sure that the engine has enough juice to get us off the ground.
Kilo Delta Alpha Golf Traffic Cessna Bravo Golf Tree taking off runway 26 straight out departure.
So we got all that out of the way. We don't need flaps to take off in this little Cessna. Do use flaps when we come into land, but not necessarily to take off. Our rotation, our V1 is at 55 knots. Take off here. Going to take off heading straight to the west and just depart straight out. And head straight for the coastal range. And we'll come into the Los Angeles area just south of LA. I believe kind of over Orange County and then over Long Beach type area, I believe.
Los Angeles Center Cessna Bravo Golf Tree is type Cessna 152 2 miles west of Kilo Delta Alpha Golf 3,300 feet. Request flight following.
Cessna Bravo Golf Tree, Los Angeles Center. Squawk 6356.
decimal 5 for Cessna Bravo Golf Tree. Cessna Bravo Golf Tree 9,000 feet.
Cessna Bravo Golf Tree SoCal approach altimeter 30.08. Continue to Papa Oscar Mike as planned.
SoCal approach Cessna Bravo Golf Tree. Request clearance to transition Bravo airspace.
Cessna Bravo Golf Tree SoCal approach. Clear through the Bravo airspace.
Cleared through Bravo airspace Cessna Bravo Golf Tree.
All right, I'm back. I got him some chocolate milk. I'm sure y'all were curious about that update. Okay, Avalon, California, Catalina Airport, almost 1,600 feet. Runway length is almost 3,000 feet. Last time I landed on Catalina in a different flight and a different situation. I was flying the Kodiak 100, and it was an extremely strong crosswind, and we had to slip in and actually pulled it off perfectly. It was awesome. You can watch that. It was one of my 20-minute flights. It's on the 20-minute flight playlist. It's like Airport in the Sky, I think is what it was titled, because that's what they call the Catalina Airport. All right, we've reached the coast. You can see Catalina Island out there. Last thing that I wanted to do in this job was to push it fuel-wise and be at this point and get about halfway to Catalina and realize that maybe we don't have enough fuel to get there. So that's why I played it safe and stopped in Barstow, because I do believe that a full tank would have got us to Catalina Island, unless we were fighting a really strong headwind the entire way, and then we could have been in some serious trouble. So it was just best to play it safe, make a stop in Barstow, refuel, and then have plenty of fuel on board to get from Barstow to our destination. There's a look up north of the coast. I think you can see the Port of Los Angeles up that way, and LAX is not far from there. And straight ahead, Catalina Island. It's a fun little airport. Really fun airport to land at. And we're looking to see if we can possibly get a report of the weather.
Kilo Alpha Victor X-ray automated weather observation 1700 Zulu. Wind 172 at tree. Visibility 8. Sky condition clear. Temperature 14C dew point 10C altimeter 3005.
Okay, so the wind
Kilo
is
Alpha Victor X-ray automated weather observation 1700 Zulu. Wind 172 at tree. Visibility 8. Sky condition clear. Temperature.
Kilo Alpha Victor X-ray traffic Cessna Bravo Gulf Tree 20 miles northeast 6,700 feet inbound to land runway 22.
okay. So the wind is from 170 something, which is coming from our south, so our left, and it's not very strong. It's just 3 knots, so like 4 or 5 miles an hour. Not a big deal. Shouldn't give us any trouble. The last time I landed at Catalina, the wind was coming from the north, and it was like 17 knots. It was pretty wild. So we do have a little bit of a crosswind, but it's not very bad. So shouldn't have any trouble putting this plane down. And we have pulled off, what is it, since job number 3. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1 in this job. So we pulled off 5 straight landings without a hitch so far. Haven't since we bounced that one in Lake Havasu. We bounced in Lake Havasu a couple of times. We were just going too fast. Like, I don't mind. I'm good with crossing the threshold of the runway at 60 knots. and then flaring, maybe slow down to 50. I'd like to land at 50, and we crossed the threshold, I think, at Havasu, maybe slightly above 60, but then we also landed at 60, so we didn't really flare and bleed out any speed. We were going 60. We were going 60 with vertical speed of minus 200 feet per minute. Like, I don't mind crossing the threshold at like maybe vertical speed of negative 500 feet per minute and 60, because as you decrease your vertical speed, you're also going to bleed off a little bit of airspeed, and maybe be down around 50 when you touch down. But crossing the threshold at 200 feet per minute descent and at 60 knots, you'd pretty much have to float down the runway quite a ways to bleed off that speed, and I didn't do that. Ended up hitting and bouncing pretty good. Alright, we move ahead just a little bit. Seems like it took forever to get from the coast out here to Catalina. It's only like 20 miles, I think. I think it said 20 nautical miles when we checked, or when we let the airport know we were on our way in. The airport that doesn't have anybody to respond to you. Alright, airport's starting to come into view straight ahead on top of that little plateau. It's called the Airport in the Sky, Catalina Island Airport. And we're almost there. Go ahead and sit back, let's watch the landing, and we'll talk about it after we put it down.
Kilo Alpha Victor X-ray traffic Cessna Bravo Gulfstream is on final runway 22 to land.
All right, so we're on the ground. Another good landing. That's 6 in a row. Gonna pull that one off perfectly. We came in a little bit high, a little bit above what maybe an ILS glide slope would have been. And the reason I did that is because the airport is located on this plateau, on this ridge. And even though the wind was only 3 knots from the south, with the mountains, there was just the possibility of some unstable air or some updrafts or downdrafts off of that ridge, depending on which way the wind gusts blew. I didn't want to be too close to the ground until I actually had some runway to land on. Now I don't know if that's what a pilot would do. That was my thinking with that. And I could be off. It could not be a big deal. I maybe just was making stuff up. I don't know. I'm not a pilot, but I thought it seemed a little bit safer, because if you remember back in Job 2 when we went over that ridge just north of Las Vegas, we got that downdraft and we lost a lot of altitude really quick, and actually the right wing kind of dipped. And I just didn't want that to happen as we went over the edge of the plateau. All right, guys, we're here. We are in Catalina. What a trip, man. From Las Vegas to Catalina in the Cessna 152. Took us a total of 2 hours and 38 minutes. We had 2 takeoffs and 2 landings. The first leg we burned 8.32 gallons. The second leg we burned 7.78 for a total of 16.1. We'll double it for the return trip when we do our balance. Our balance will say like 32.2 gallons of fuel, I think. And here's the airport in the sky. Sorry, my kids are getting a little bit restless and noisy. I've been doing this for a long time. They've been quiet and good up until now. Catalina Airport, Avalon, California, December 22nd, 9:52 a.m. We left before sunup in Las Vegas and made it here in 2.5 hours. One stop for fuel. All right, we started with $88,235. We earned $11,750, and 32.2 gallons of gas cost us $386. So we are almost back to $100,000, guys. We have almost made back the entire amount, the entire $45,000 we paid for this Cessna 152 in job number 8. All right, so we end with $99,598.64. Next episode, we're going to break the $100,000 threshold. Not most likely, we definitely will, unless we crash. All right, that's it for this episode of Career Mode Las Vegas.